As I sit back and count all this bread, there's enough cheese on my pizza. We poppin' right now, and I know you haters cannot stand it. I'm so high in the sky, must have forgot where I landed. We living the life, so they stand and watch Mona Lisa. As I sit back and count all this bread, there's enough cheese on my pizza. Girl, go ahead, Teddy. Teddy, you need to come out here. Here we go, y'all. I think, go ahead. I think I hear a battle. What's this? Wait a minute. It's an OG and we got friends. DJ Rhythm, hold up. Check it out. Oh! Go ahead. He's just warming up now. He just warming up. Go ahead, Music Matter. Go ahead, Music Matter. What you say?
There are 8 principles of health that are practiced by the Adventist community, and they share those principles of health whenever they are asked to do so. Since 2007, the Adventist community has been a part of the Millcreek Community, and they have provided the 8 principles of health for the benefit of this community. This particular year, the Millcreek Advisory Council requested that there be a focus on mental health and brain health and behavioral health. And actually, they're all the same thing. There is one acronym that describes our entire belief system regarding those 8 principles. The acronym is New Start. New Start stands for nutrition, exercise, water, temperance, air, rest, and most importantly, trust in divine power, which we believe is the power of Jesus Christ in our lives. We also believe that none of the other principles are going to work unless God gives the increase. So to show you what we have here today, it's actually the brain on New Start. And it starts with an education as to what the brain does. And oddly enough, we managed to find something called neuroscience for kids. And what it does is it shows how the neuron works in the body as well as in the brain. And so little people can actually take a look and see what it means to say that something is firing against the synapses. And we had 2 little ones in here today that were very anxious to know whether or not mommy and daddy would actually pass the test regarding their brain firing. There's only one thing that man can do in order to affect this process that God put into place. That is make improper choices. His improper choices will allow free radicals to progress within his body. Those free radicals will do a great deal of damage. So as you go through, what we do is we do the research. We make available to the people that come into this area what the research says in the snapshot. The entire purpose is to have individuals' interest be sparked so that they'll go back, take a look and see how is my brain health in terms of what should be. So this explains the free radical system, the synapses system. We move forward to how nutrition works on the brain, which science have said that is definitely a fact that nutrition is a huge key factor in the health of the brain. We go over to exercise, and in our display we talk about exercising not just the body but also the mind. We also speak about water and the brain, and the fact that the water is the brain is approximately 80% water. And it also, the fact that we lose 80 ounces of water a day is most effective to ask a person, how many ounces of water are you drinking? We have a demonstration that explains what stagnant water looks like and what it does within the body system. And most diseases are a product of not being able to flush the cells as they need to be flushed. And we flush it with exercise, moving our nutrients about. We flush it with water, moving in and out of the cell cavities itself. We also flush it with air. We have a demonstration regarding air. And how much air you actually need to get into the lungs. Most people will go to the hospital. They'll have that little clip put on their finger. They don't know what they're measuring. It's actually measuring how much oxygen is in your blood, because your brain does need to breathe. So the support information is here for the taking. This table is actually a table of our do's and don'ts and can use, because we also have found in our research that the frontal lobe is definitely affected by technology. And the portion of the frontal lobe that's most affected is the ability to make decisions. So while we're clapping things in our ears and we're sitting in front of the screen for several different hours of the day, we should be aware of the fact of what we're losing. And what we're losing is cognition skills. So one of the exercises we have is to see whether or not someone can actually follow directions, because the statement of whether or not you're healthy means, can you respond in an emergency? Well, if someone says you need to get out the building and go this way, if you can't comprehend what they're saying, you essentially are not fit, even though you may be one of these people that work out every day. So these are cognition exercises. We also have an exercise of the brain as well as the body. So there are puzzles here. There's games of strategy here. There's also something that we have here to test whether or not you can redress how you're using your brain. Because some brain activity we are taking for granted, such as we comb our hair with our dominant hand, we cook with our dominant hand, we do many things with our dominant hand. It is recommended that you choose your opposing hand to try and do simple tasks. So the example we have here is to ask someone to stir water. And the stirring of the water, it does let us know where your dominance really lies. It's also very interesting to see how many people cannot stir water with the non-dominant hand. And of course, once again, we have a few puzzles here for people to understand. Also, part of our principles is temperaments. And temperaments equals balance. You have to have balance in your life. So we have a couple of things here. We have our Tai Chi Panda Bears. And we also have what is the makings of sweet and sour sauce. And it's very interesting because when people take one of the ingredients, they're not satisfied. And they take two and they're still not satisfied. It's not until we get all four ingredients in the equal balance that people begin to understand, well, yes, this is something that I can recognize. So once again, we're reinforcing the fact that you do indeed need to have temperaments in your life. You can't eat all fried chicken at one time. You have to have something else with that in order to have your balance. We also have something here called true age. And our elder John is a person that takes care of true age. And true age is a measurement of your body mass, your lifestyle, and compares that with the things that you're doing in your life. So we use a particular kind of scale in order to measure your percentage of fat in your body, and also to measure that against your age. He then gives a printout and it lets you know how old you really are. So you may think that you're 25 years old when in fact you're 60. So that's what Elder John does. We have another elder here off camera, and that elder also assists in when we start giving a consultation after the true age is done. Now, because we are predominantly non-meat eaters, whenever we come out to something like this, we usually bring our own food. And one of our signature cooks is Linnell Falk. She was formerly a health ministry leader in one of our churches. And so we bring our food with us when we come. But we have no problem sharing it. But one one of the things that we like to let people know is that we actually live what we say. And there are several organizations that support that control of your own health that we're trying to promote. And those organizations give us supplies of additional information that we usually will share when we go out. If they cannot come in themselves, then they will send something. So we have information from iMatter, which is an organization that's addressing teen pregnancy in West Philadelphia. We have information from the, I think it's the Black Women's Health Alliance, yes, Black Women's Health Alliance. We have information from the Diabetes Association, Sickle Cell Anemia. We also have information from a place called Lighthouse, which addresses the blind. And oddly enough, we have a very large blind community in some of our areas. And the Department of Health supports us with their latest newsletter. And finally, we usually get an association that handles AIDS testing with us, but today there's several events. So the lady that usually does the testing, she actually had to leave, but she did leave her information with us. So that's how our health fairs usually end up. They're interactive, they're usually interesting, and this particular one was focused to help people to move on to take control over their brain health.
Thank you very much.
Very good.